Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Jennifer Scrapping Cane. Those of you that are new here, welcome. I have a new kit to me. This is the train kit, and I will be using this throughout the month of March, possibly April, depending on how many layouts I get done with it. I did do a kit reveal that shows everything that's in this kit. Right now, I'm just showing you what I'm going to use today. These are the photos that I plan on scrapping. These photos were taken in 2002 of my son. This kit, that's mainly made up of basic gray collection called Oliver, which was a little boy collection back in the day. I believe it came out in 2010. So sometimes you have to wait for the right collection to scrapbook the photos because these photos couldn't match these papers anymore if I tried. Like, they look like they were made for these photos. And this was a cool looking green train that we were on, and my son's wearing a blue Thomas train shirt. This was a day out with Thomas, and there's multiple layouts that will go with this one day that we were out. And I really like sometimes when you have a special event, or I scrapbook the photos how I see fit of the photos, not necessarily throw them all on one page and just get it done. And that's just the way that I do things. He has multiple albums for the age of 4, which is how old he is in these photos. But then you get to like age 10, 11, 12, they don't want to take photos anymore. So he doesn't have as many photos after the age of 10. And therefore, he doesn't have as many albums after that age. So I take all the photos I can when they're younger and then go from there. So this one here is going to be a double page layout. Right now I'm showing you how I'm going to lay it out today. And this is a mat that is made by American Crafts. This mat is actually the perfect size for a double 8.5 by 11 layout. So I like to use it to lay out my photos, lay out my embellishments. I've already picked the papers, as you saw, what I want to use, but I haven't really decided how I'm going to lay the papers out. More than likely, the oxidized looking metal paper is going to be my background, but I wasn't sure like how I would use the other papers that I chose. So first I start laying out embellishments and trying to decide how I'm going to, lay out my photos, because that's the most important part. And then I start laying out my title, and then I lay out my other smaller embellishment pieces. So as you can see, I use that clear acrylic piece that's at the top. I put a piece of pattern paper behind it. It's not attached yet. Um, the train yard is chipboard letters that were also made by Basic Gray. They were already black. And Wander is a 49 and Market chipboard piece. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to washi tape the back of the layout together so that my two papers stay together. And I'm going to stencil with white acrylic paint where the title's going to go. Right now I was looking for a roll of washi tape. There's only 4 or 5 somewhere on my desk, but I couldn't find one. And this is just one that I really don't use washi tape except for to do things like this. So I just have them laying around to use as, little scrap pieces to tape things together while I do something. And then I'll remove the washi tape from the back. So here I'm getting out a sponge brush. And this is just one of those little cheap, I think they're a couple of bucks for a pack of 10 or something. And they're on a stick and it's a sponge. You see it there in my hand. And white acrylic paint. And so I'm just going to tap that over the crackling piece of the stencil that I want to place there on the sheet. So, and I'm going to move it around and just make sure that it doesn't look like it goes just in one line. And the good thing about using acrylic paint is it dries super fast. So I just have to wait a few minutes, in between putting it on top of it and going back over again. So you can see I flipped it upside down on that side. I'll put it over on the other side and flip it again. And I kind of go up and down. I don't really go in a straight line with it. And my title will go right over it. So you'll see it in the background, but it just gives you a little bit of white space of something to look at. So that the title pops. Sorry. I used gold letters for part of the title. The title is going to be Let's Wander the Train Yard. And basically, when you go to the day out with Thomas, Thomas the train pulls a train with you riding along on it. Once you wait your turn to get onto Thomas, though, you have to just wait in the train yard, or in this case, it's a train museum. So it has lots of older trains that are no longer, working the rails, but you get to climb through them, look inside of them. Some of them you can actually go inside of them, and some of them, you just see from the outside. This particular one that my son is on, you could go, up the steps of it and stuff, but you couldn't really go inside of it. So he was just playing on the outside of it. And you can climb up the ladders on the side. The only thing you can't do is go all the way to the top of the train, on the rooftop of the train. But you can climb the ladders, and you can climb, see the train wheels, and it's kind of neat. So that's what we did, is we just walked around the train yard and played. And for a 4-year-old, he loved it. He loved Thomas the Train at this age. He had lots of trains, and he really enjoyed this day out. And it was worth money. I'm sure it costs a lot more now than it did back then. Back then, it was probably about $50 a ticket to get in. Now it's probably $100 a ticket to get in. But it was something fun that we did. And there won't be any journaling on this layout because, like I said, there'll be multiple layouts of the same day. And at the end, when I get done complete with the whole kit, once I'm done with it, I will show at the end what I have left. And I will show all of the layouts that I've created with it, including the ones that I created before I started doing this kit on YouTube. So you'll get a general idea of what, it'll look like in his album with all the completed layouts from the one day that we did this day out with Thomas. So here I'm just splattering the white acrylic paint, and that's just to, distress the stenciling a little bit more. I cut a few of the papers to layer up at the bottom of the layout. This layout is not very paper heavy. I decided not to add a whole lot of the papers and to let the pictures just shine, and I used a lot of the chipboard pieces for this layout. So here I'm adding the XO paper that just has different color XOs on it. And then at the bottom, I'm adding it looks like gears, little circles at the bottom of the navy blue and the teal color. And again, that matches, the photos perfectly. So it kind of helps the colors in the photos pop, since it's just going to be just a little bit at the bottom. And one of the main photos that I really think is a cute photo, I matte in the teal color. And I'll do that a little bit later in the layout. But here I'm just getting these papers situated across the bottom. And then I'm going to come in and splatter with Shimmer's paints. One is Boogie Board Blue, and the navy is Lapis Dance, I believe is what it's called. It's a really pretty navy color that's shimmery. And you really won't see it. You'll kind of see it on the layout, I guess, but not a lot. Once it dries, you'll see the shine of it. And you'll definitely see it in the close-ups if you're looking at the background. You'll see there's a little bit of teal and blue in the background paper. And the reason I did that was because this Craft Custorium paper actually isn't part of the basic gray papers. So the colors of it you know, I'm trying to pull it in and make it match with this collection. And the Craft Craftorium paper pads, they're not very thick papers, but they're not very thin. They're kind of in between a thinner cardstock and a nice sturdy pattern paper, I guess you would say. But I bought them because they look a lot like metal or distressed, or just they make really good grunge papers. And for me, that's the best thing to do for little boy layouts, or really any kind of boy type theme layouts. I like using the distressed papers. So this one here is Boogie Board Blue, and I'm just gonna, like I said, just lightly splash it around. I'll tap a little couple of dots here or there, and then I'm just using the acrylic block to kind of smash them into the paper. And that, what that does, instead of using the paper towel roll, which if you've watched any of the other videos, you've seen me roll the paper towel over it. When I roll the paper towel over it, it actually soaks up the color. Where if the acrylic block, you just kind of push it down on it and hold it on it, it makes it soak into the paper, and it can't soak into the acrylic block. So it's still on the paper, but it's flat. So I think I'm done there. I'm not sure what I'm doing. Disappeared. Sorry, guys. Should have cut this part out, I guess. I don't know what I'm looking for. Oh, I know what I was looking for. I'm gonna get this piece here, how I want it situated. You can see there's a little corner of it missing. The photo is gonna cover that up anyways. And I was trying to salvage as much of the paper as I could, because I only have the scrap piece that I showed of this particular paper left. So I want to get as much possible as I can on, you know, all the layouts, so that they look alike, or that they look like they go together. Not necessarily that they look alike, but they look like they go together. So I decided to use the StazOn ink and ink up the edge of the train wheel, or the gear, I guess. I'm not sure what it's supposed to be, but it has the little trains on it up close. The same train that I'm going to lay on the layout. And it's just a really cute piece. These were, Basic Gray had a package of just acetate pieces, and that's what this piece is. I believe this is my only acetate piece left. All the other ones are already on layouts in my albums. So I'm going to lay the one photo there. And again, that's one of my favorite photos there. And he's just hanging off the side of the train. Curious, I was deciding if I was going to place it there or not. That's a Basic Gray rub-on. With the Basic Gray rub-ons, I cut them out with the background still attached to it. So then I can just move it around the layout and decide where I'm going to place it without actually putting it down. Sorry, my camera cut out and it jumped ahead a little bit, but all I did was lay out the title, and then the stars here, I layered those up. So the tan star is a wood veneer that's really thin by Colorcast Designs, and I'm going to lay the chipboard stars on top. And I didn't count the stars when I pulled them out. I just pulled all the stars out of the Colorcast Design package, and then I pulled all the chipboard stars that matched the blue and green colors of this layout. And happened, I had almost the perfect amount of stars. I had to find one more on the chipboard package so that I could attach it onto one of the wood veneer stars. Other than that, it was like the perfect amount. I started attaching the stars and then remembered that my photo wasn't attached. So I attach it, like I said, to the teal background, and then I rough up the edge of that. I also attached the photo next to that one is crossing the middle of the two pages. So I will have to cut that photo just slightly, about it's not quite an inch, probably 3/4 of an inch. It hangs over into the other page. And I like to do that on my double page layouts just to make them look like a whole layout instead of, being separated. And it looks like, oh yeah, they really are a 2-page layout. It goes together. And that's just something I do. So here I'm adding the Go, and all of these chipboard pieces were still sticky, even though they're 14 years old as of this year. But they're not going to stay. They're definitely not sticky enough to stay. So I added liquid glue. Plus, they're chipboard. Almost any chipboard really doesn't stay long term, no matter who made it. This here says explore all the things. So it says go explore all the things. And that little piece there was a wood veneer piece from Colorcast Designs. And then, oh, I know what I'm getting out. The letters that are going to say let's. And then the. So I'll put let's on this side over here of wander. And I almost forgot to put them on. I almost didn't leave enough room. That little gear there, I had to put let really close to there. And then the S and the apostrophe is actually on the other page. So it says let's wander the train yard. And then I think the last thing I come in with is Metal Gears, which I didn't show my stash of Metal Gears in the kit reveal. And that's just because kind of forgot about them. They sit on my desk because I love using gears on layouts. So I pull those in anytime I can. As you can see in my hand, I have a ton of them. I got this package here, I believe, off of Amazon. And I just put in Metal Gears, and it popped up a little package that was a mix of, there's gold and silver and like a tarnish color, a copper gold and stuff like that. So there's different gears in different sizes. So I'm just trying to move around, lay a few out. Once the camera shuts off, I don't attach all the gears on while I'm on camera. I go and attach those. You'll see them in the close-ups. I did add a few more. Other than that, I'm really done with the layout. I really like the way that this layout turned out, and I think it's a great addition to the rest of the photos and the rest of the layouts that'll be for this same day. I should have another one up maybe this weekend of the train kit. If not, definitely next week I'll have another one. I'm trying to figure out how many exactly I'll have. I haven't gotten that far ahead yet, but hopefully you guys will come back and join me again for another train kit layout. And here's the close-ups, and I should have a wedding kit layout tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Bye.